Are you ready?
Is that the message you got? We about to go live. Are you ready to rock? So take a shot. Oh, so take a shot. Oh, yeah. I'm a street breaker. I'm a heartbreaker. This is my yard. I'm a mold razor. Britt Baker, nature boy, about to seek and destroy. It's an SOW. Let me hear you make noise. Take a shot, boy. Is that the message you got? We about to go live. Are you ready to rock? So take a shot.
What is up, everyone? It is me, your favorite actor, Mark Schwann, here for an episode of Shot of Wrestling. Michael J. Putty is not here. He's at some third cousin's wedding, I think. I have no idea. He's just not here. Let's move on with our lives. Because most importantly, I have his replacement. Well, not for, the entirety of the Shot of Wrestling, but, for this episode at least. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for a dear friend of mine. I have known him actually from before our wrestling days.
Yeah.
Now we are in the wrestling world together. He is the owner of Kevin Wood Productions. He is a fucking dynamite of a filmographer. I fucking love this dude. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Kevin Wood.
Hey, thank you, sir. I can't believe we're coming up on 8 years since the first time I met you.
That's wild. Is that real? That's not
real. Yeah, I can tell. It was June of 2016. We were on the set. Can I say what the TV show was that I met you on?
Yeah.
Met you on, Mark Schwann. Alternatino for I think at the time it was a Comedy Central.
It was Comedy Central
short. Because I think it was before it was even on the air. And I was wearing my Cactus Jack shirt, and you came over to me and you were like, I fucking love your shirt. And that was the beginning of a beautiful friendship. And then fast forward, I think we also went to an NXT show at one point, which
we did.
I meant to tell. We did. It was the night before SummerSlam 2016. It
was my first NXT show.
Yes, we were singing along to Glorious,
Shinsuke.
the Bobby
Glorious
song,
yes,
and the Shinsuke song too. I think, did Shinsuke win the title that night?
He did. He did.
Yes.
A lot of great things happened that night.
And I was at the Barclays last week and was literally sitting in those exact same seats. I meant to actually.
No way.
Oh, yeah. I went to a Doja Cat concert there. Not Smackdown. I went to a Doja Cat concert.
It's so funny you bring up Alternito, like how we first met. So remember, like I played a henchman, right?
Yes.
And there was another henchman, Jaime. Do you remember him? Another actor.
I do remember. I don't remember him like specifically, but I remember that you were one of the two.
So fast forward to today, we actually wrapped, and actually we finished. The editing is done. We produced a film together with Nicholas Turturro.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
It's called Vampire for Hire. We're looking to hit the film festival. I'm allowed to talk about it now since the strike is over. But it was a SAG interim agreement, so either way, I could talk about it. Everything's done. It's on my IMDb actually now. It's coming out 2024, and it's going to be hitting film festivals fairly soon. So I'm excited about it.
Well, yes, please make sure to let everybody know on here and everywhere else, and obviously let me know. Let me know if it's at a festival in the city. I will be there.
Hopefully, Tribeca. Dude, honestly, I saw this thing and I'm in it as well, and so is he. Film looks amazing. I'm not just saying that because it's something I did. It's easily the best movie I've produced for sure.
Awesome.
Not a knock on any directors I've worked with before in the past, but this is just amazing. I'm thrilled about this. I'm excited to actually talk about it right now because it's real. Many times, is this real? Is this really happening? It's real. It's done. So a final cut of it. But it's so funny, full circle, man. Like, you
I
know,
know.
the three of us all met on the same set and still
It
connected.
was, yes, it was in like, I want to say it was at a studio in like East New York or Bushwick or
Yes.
somewhere,
Something like it
somewhere
was
in
in
there.
Brooklyn. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, man. And then fast forward to now, like we are colleagues in the wrestling industry. I mean,
Right.
kind
We
of. Although it's been a little bit since we had a show together. Well, actually, no, not really, because over
we
the
are.
summer.
Yeah. Dude, of course. And that's funny because when we met, we weren't in the wrestling world, but we're
No,
fans of wrestling, but we were both not in the world at all, not involved. And here we are today, like me managing the BCW Women's Champion, Vicious Vicky. What's up? And you doing your thing, dude. Your videos are amazing, by the way. I always put you
thank
over as
you.
much as I can. I talk to promotions at the loudest mountaintop possible. Like, hire
Yes,
this man. It's on them if they don't, but
I'm well aware, and you have been since I started doing this, um, one of, if not my like loudest supporter, definitely like one of them. So, and I'm not just saying that to be nice or anything like that. Like, I would say like you and like the Takeover guys have been like, I guess you could say like my biggest fans, my biggest sort of supporters. So I very much appreciate that.
well, dude,
Um,
it's not even because like we're friends. We are friends, and I
yeah,
always support my friends. But like, you are actually talented. Like, I
I,
wouldn't be saying it if it wasn't true.
I appreciate that, and hopefully, by the time this comes out, I have a couple of projects that I'm sort of in the middle of producing that I'm pretty excited about. So yeah, the Kevin Wood on Instagram. Check it out, folks.
Killer new logo, by the way. Love it. But
Thank you.
yeah, Kevin, we can go on and on about like our journey, our paths together, but that's not what the people want to hear. We're boring them
Exactly.
already with our story. I'm sure. Let's get into wrestling, the nitty gritty of it all. Lots of news this past week, a lot of which kind of stemmed from CM Punk. You know, CM Punk had that big promo on Monday Night Raw saying that he's home.
Yep.
Also, he made mention of his wife, which got a lot of people talking. Crispy Wrestling is one of them at Crispy Wrestling. AJ Lee, number 30 at the Royal Rumble? I think yes. ... Listen, I'm a big fan of AJ Lee. I think a lot of people are, and they'd be stoked to see this happen. What do you think? I mean, this had to be approved from higher ups, from the name dropper. You think like this sign of company? Will we see the return of AJ Lee?
First off, and I'll expand on this later. CM Punk has a tendency to just take over like all of the wrestling news flow whenever he does anything, especially when he comes back. I don't think that we'll see her, and this is my own opinion. I might be wrong. I don't think we'll necessarily see her as an in ring performer because I feel like she would have kept doing it in some form or fashion if she
Hmm.
physically could. What wasn't there something about like her saying that she had neck problems? Now, granted, we're in a day and age where people have to retire from neck problems and then they come back 5 to 10 years later and they go on
Neck
the best runs of
smack.
their career. Yeah, who
Yeah.
needs a neck?
Right.
I just I was watching some clips of her. If you guys have ever seen, there's a clip of her, Paul Heyman, and CM Punk where Paul Heyman like proposes to her. It's amazing. And I forgot just like how good of a performer that she was, and I was like, I don't know about her as an in-ring performer. I don't know if she would physically want to, but as just some sort of like an on-air personality, she'd be great. And as somebody that's not a fan of the current like GM setup that they have going, I guess Nick Aldis is fine, but what's his name on Raw? Not a fan of. I saw that and I was just like, oh, AJ Lee is the general manager of Raw, or if she was to come back as the general manager of like NXT, yes.
Well,
Like
that's the thing. I mean, AJ
100%.
Lee, she's done it before and she crushed it. I feel like no matter what role she was given in WWE, she crushed it. You
Yeah,
know, that's just
absolutely.
what she does. And I know she helped bring back WoW, right? She was a big part of
Oh
that.
yeah.
But she's not anymore, right?
Uh I don't think so. I mean, I know that there were lots of high hopes for it, and there were some I know like Tessa Blanchard was involved in it at one
Yeah,
point.
well, yeah.
Involved in it at one point. To be honest, apologies to the WoW fans. I have not followed what's been going on at WoW a
Well, I
lot.
mean, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of wrestling going on right now. Like,
Oh yeah,
unfortunately, a promotion or two might take a hit from it. WoW being unfortunately one of them. Hey, listen, friends of the show, they are on there. Good for them. They're crushing it.
that's true.
But nothing but love for WoW and the women over there. But AJ Lee, going back to the point ahead, you brought up an interesting point though. Like, it's been how long since she left WWE? Like, how many promotions have grown since then? And we have
Yeah,
yet to see AJ Lee back in the ring. I don't know, man. Like, because like easily she could have fit in AEW. Hell, she could have fit in TNA at that time or Impact now. Well, back to TNA soon. She could have wrestled in WoW, which she was a part of.
yeah,
NWA, Indies. So she's had options, and like I'm sure if like she had the interest to do so, any one of them would have taken her on. Did she fall out of love with wrestling? Maybe. I would say never. I know it's such a cliche saying, but obviously with CM Punk back in WWE, that's truer now than ever.
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we did see an appearance of AJ Lee at the Royal Rumble, possibly.
Yeah, it's possible,
Or making a cameo.
That would be a big deal. She would get a huge reaction. I would say, look, I think that she's almost definitely going to make some sort of an on-screen appearance that's more than just a one-off. I just am curious, like,
But then again, we didn't see her on screen at all in any capacity at AEW.
that's
Is it
true.
because it got toxic over there, you think, with the relationship with CM Punk? Or because that
I
seems
mean,
to sour real fast.
it is possible. It's also possible that maybe there were contractual things with WoW where she couldn't appear on.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true.
and that is something.
WoW definitely had some stuff like I know from like from the world in indies, like WoW had some interesting things with their contract.
Yeah, and WoW did have. I mean, it had a legitimate financial back. What's her name of the owner of the Lakers? Right? Is it Jeannie Buss? I don't. I don't. I think that one of the owners of the Lakers had like a significant financial stake in it. So it wouldn't shock me if they were able to have like a legitimate like non-compete. You can't appear on anywhere else. Like I don't know. But
Yeah, I
that
mean, like
that
especially with AJ's name, like I know there was a case like where a wrestler couldn't even be mentioned as a wrestling name of WoW in another. It was a weird
yeah.
thing. So there could be something to that for sure. But hey, I mean, as far as we know, I don't think AJ Lee is part of WoW anymore.
Yeah,
It seems
I
like
don't.
she's a free agent.
And
Could the stars aligning?
it
Could
could be.
it be?
It could be. And if she did come back, it would be a huge reaction. And I think that she would fit in. It's kind of it's a shame that she kind of missed. She like just missed like the horsewomen. Her last match on Raw, the last match that she had, she was wearing like a shirt, a Bailey shirt. So it'd be interesting to see her get mixed up with Bailey and Charlotte and Becky and this new
Or Jade?
generation of women. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
plenty of possible matchups, man. Like it'll be awesome to see. But moving on, Royal Rumble's right around the corner, so maybe. But there's a lot more stuff to talk about here, Kevin. Let's get into it with Jade Cargill.
oh
Russell
man.
Pierce at Russell Pierce. This a PW Insider report. Jade Cargill is not usually at the WWE PC every day, but she has been spending 1 to 2 days a week there, and that is the current plan going forward. There's no official date for her to come up to the main roster or even appear regularly on NXT. WWE sees her as a strong talent for the future and are no rush to get her into her first storylines. Now, a lot of people are talking about this. Why haven't we seen Jade Cargill yet? We've made a big deal about her signing, shown glimpses of her, but still nothing yet. And it's been a couple months now.
Yeah.
Now there's this report that came out. Should WWE be concerned that Jade Cargill isn't ready yet? Because that's what it seems like, that she's not ready.
She's definitely not ready in some kind of capacity. You could see that from her AEW work. She very much, in my opinion, plateaued. I don't know if
Plateau. That's a strong word.
Yeah, now someday I'm gonna work with her and I'm gonna get kicked in the face for this. Just watch. But I just felt like I don't know if it was the way that she was booked in AEW or if it was just like her own abilities, but it felt like she was on like a very specific incline, and then once she got the TBS title, it felt like they didn't know what to do with her next. And I think some of that might be due to her still being, I mean, she's only been wrestling for like 2.5, 3 years. And I think also WWE saying that like they're not in a rush to force her to do anything actually gives me hope, because I feel like WWE has a long track record of hyping people when they come in and trying to force it way, way, way too early, and those people just not working out. The one that comes to mind for me is Sin Cara way back when, like the original Sin Cara, where they wanted to hype this guy as the next like big star, the next Rey Mysterio, and meanwhile this guy didn't speak English, and he was struggling to communicate with these guys in the ring, and everyone was like, "What? I thought this guy was supposed to be the like this superstar, and he's making all these mistakes." And it's just they set him up to fail. And I would hope that they don't do that to Jade, because I think that they signed her because they were like, "Holy shit, this person has star written all over her."
Yes, this is easily, I would say, AEW's biggest star that they had.
Yeah,
And I would include MJF in that category just because she's done everything that a star is supposed to do, literally
yeah,
everything. But the way that this signing is, and what's going on here, the PC and development, one can't help but think about the whole Gable Stevenson, Gable
yeah,
Stevenson situation.
yes,
They that was a huge deal. They hyped the shit out of it, and they wound up being nothing. Now, obviously, Jade Cargill has more sports entertainment experience than Gable.
yes,
Um, and I know some fans they'll knock her ability, which I think is unwarranted. Honestly, I think she did a very fine job at AEW doing what she had to do. She fit the role. She honestly, like she screams WWE talent more than AEW.
oh,
If it,
100%. The whole time she was in AEW, I remember thinking that like it was so weird because it felt like this was like a WWE person.
Mhm.
Um, and when by the way, let me just say, when I said plateaued, I don't necessarily mean like her own personal ability, but it just felt like they didn't know what to do with her
Like
next.
storyline, you're talking about.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I
Triple H
feel
kind
like
of also like talking talent wise. Triple H kind of alluded to when during the press conference that like seemed like it felt like AEW didn't necessarily teach her the right tools.
yeah,
If you're
and I
reading between the lines in that,
yeah, and some of that might be like WWE's own sort of branding thing,
right.
you
That's
know,
yeah.
and I could. I mean, we have to see, and I think it's one of those things that it's like a double-edged sword when they sign somebody and they're just like, "Oh my God, this person's going to be this, that, or whatever." And sometimes they turn into Kurt Angle, and sometimes, yeah, like Gable. I mean, Gable Stevenson's a little different because I think he had some sort of like personal life type of stuff that was a little unsavory that might have affected it. Is he like gone from WWE? Um, I don't
Yeah,
know. I
also
haven't.
there was like the whole Cain Velasquez thing too. That was also a big deal. That wound up being nothing. Like
Yeah,
I would hope to say like Jade Cargill is not that. I don't think this is going to amount to nothing.
yeah,
Jade Cargill, like she looks the part, and we know she can go.
yeah,
It sounds like WWE Triple H is saying like they want to make sure she's ready, but the thing is ready for what? It seems like they want to push her to the moon. I guess that's what push ready for what is, right?
yeah. And I mean, I think it's another thing too, where it's a little like they don't know, they probably see her as a future main event talent, but they also might be saying to themselves like, hey, she's not quite ready for that yet. Also, like I said, I think that there is a history of them sometimes bringing these people in and hyping them up like crazy and kind of setting them up for failure. And maybe there's just something that they see in her that they're kind of like, let's hang on. Also, there's a chance that they're just gonna they're kind of taking their time with her, and that we start to see her get sprinkled in more and more towards Mania, and they're trying not to let her just get like lost in the shuffle, you know.
Right.
which is entirely a thing that can happen before, especially when you're in like the WrestleMania season.
And it definitely seems like they're looking to bypass NXT altogether with her, because otherwise, so we'd see her develop in real time in NXT. So it seems like they have really grandiose plans with her. I can't wait to see her finally make her in-ring debut for WWE. Fans are going to go nuts for that, just like when AJ Lee comes back, right?
Yep.
Anyway, moving on here, Kevin, we got more news to talk about. We're going into AEW. Britt Baker made a splash during AEW Dynamite when she made this tweet right here. Dr. Britt Baker DMD at Real Britt Baker. Tonight's AEW Dynamite, MJF live promo time, 7 minutes. Christian Cage live promo time, 10 minutes. All of 2023 AEW Dynamite, Britt Baker live promo time, 0 minutes. This got a lot of people talking. And it's true. Britt Baker, she is a phenomenal talent. She's great on the mic. People love her. EMD. Obviously, for a reason. Does this say to you that is there a chance that she's like unhappy with AEW and that she could possibly move on to WWE, you think?
I mean, she's clearly unhappy with AEW. Like, first off, if that stat is true, then could you blame her for being unhappy there? I mean, 2 years ago, I was at the AEW show when CM Punk initially debuted in AEW. The person that got the second biggest reaction of the whole show was Britt Baker. And it felt like in 2020 and especially 2021, she was like they said something at one point where they were just like, she should be considered one of the pillars. And I agree, for the time at least. And it
she was like
feels
the face of the company.
Yeah, and it feels like somewhere, I don't even know. I don't know if it's the second round of the feud that she had with Thunder Rosa or something. Feels like somewhere along the line she lost all her heat. I think that maybe the injury to Jamie Hayter affected things, because it felt like they had a very specific plan for that, and when Hayter got hurt, they kind of put it all on the back burner. I think this is also kind of brings up two other problems for AEW, or at least the critiques that they get a lot, which is them not capitalizing on people and having all these stars and not using them properly for weeks or months at a time, and B, them maybe not booking the women's division as well as they should. And I think that those are legitimate critiques.
No, yeah. I'm trying to think about this. Like, she's saying all year, all of 2023. When did Saraya come back? Did she come back in 2022 or 2023?
2022. She would have come back, I want to say at the New York show in September 2022.
Because I remember they had some great exchanges back and forth. So zero mic time, zero live promo time is here on AEW Dynamite. So I could have sworn I've heard Britt Baker speak one point, but it could have been taped. It could have been on AEW Rampage, Collision, pay-per-view, but not the flagship show, AEW Dynamite. I mean, that's wild. That's a waste of talent right there. And you're right. There's a lot of talent here. I mean, they keep on signing more and more former WWE people, indie people, New Japan people. I think there is a mismanagement of talent and time. That's what it seems to be. And if you oversaturate your roster with all this talent with lack of TV time, and you're getting better with TV time with AEW Collision now being a third show. But in ROH, I guess, to a degree. But Britt Baker, like someone that was what's considered the face of the company, one of the pillars, not utilizing one of her strengths, which is her promo skills. That's a shame. That's negligence.
Exactly. And again, it comes back to, I've seen a lot of critiques, especially for like the women's division and some of the decisions that they've made with them of who to feature and whatever. And I think that this is I won't say it's like a small part of it, but it feels like it's more than a small part of it, because that is like, but then it's like, this is AEW we're talking about. And I want to say that she's like one of their flag bearers, but one of their former flag bearers is the top star in WWE right now. So we're in a weird time wrestling.
How do you think Britt Baker would do in WWE? Do you think she would go?
Oh
if her
man.
contract was up?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I think that she could do fine. I think there's one of two things. Either A, WWE would bring her in and bury her and wouldn't care, and she would wind
You
up in the
think they
same
would
position.
bury her?
No, I'm not saying they would, but I could see a scenario like that. But then I could also see a scenario where she goes and they're like, let's not try to fix what's broken. Let's give her some mic time. Let's let her let's give her a little bit of a push and see where it goes. I don't necessarily think that she would walk in and get like the Cody treatment where they were just like, this is our biggest star now. She would have to kind of work her way up the card, but I could see her going and being fine. I just think that for her leaving AEW, first off, like I think part of the reason she's in AEW is so that she can still like have her practice, um, her dental practice,
Yeah.
and also her boyfriend, husband, fiance, or her and Adam Cole. I'm assuming they're still together. Is there?
Yeah, but that tends to not matter that much. We've seen plenty of people be in WWE, AEW there together, though.
That's true.
That doesn't matter as much.
But then also it's like, again, like I want to say that this is a person that's been like the face of the company at times and one of the originals, but then again, one of the founders of the company is one of WWE's top stars right now. So we're in a wrestling world where that doesn't matter.
It doesn't, and I don't know. I would refuse to believe WWE would bury her. I think that's bad business because they want to treat AEW talent coming over as good as possible. We've seen that happen before here, and it could pave the door open for many other AEW talent that are crushing it over there, and it could probably do better in WWE for all we know.
Yeah.
But moving on here, Kevin, that is actually it for the news, but still plenty left TV to talk about. Oh, well, CM Punk made his return to WWE. If you didn't know, now you know.
I thought I turned off Survivor Series and everything was the same as I left it.
Right. No, you're wrong. Well, a lot of stuff happened as a result of it, including CM Punk making a promo, doing a promo on Monday Night Raw, something that we thought we'd never see. Him saying that we're home, that he's home, blew everyone's mind. Let's get into this. Adam Goldberg here, at Adam Goldberg 28. Seth Rollins called CM Punk a hypocrite. CM Punk cuts a wipe the slate clean, I'm home promo, proving Seth's point. Says he's making money, not friends, as he grins into the camera as Monday Night Raw goes off the air. Great touch. Something is going to happen soon. So we all saw the aftermath. Seth Rollins screaming "fuck you" to CM Punk at the end of Survivor Series, going berserk. Seth Rollins has made it known that he's not a fan of CM Punk. Are you buying the heat with CM Punk and Seth Rollins here? Do you think this is real? It's all work?
It's a work. It's all a work. Everything is a work. The whole world, all of life is a work. Except for some reason, CM Punk and the Young Bucks was not a work. The one thing that I wished was a work was somehow not a work. Of course it's a work, especially the way that like Rollins was so over the top with it. Like, stop. Like you know why he did that? So that we could have this conversation right now. It's a work. It's a work. Of course it's a work. Seth Rollins is like the most company, like I do not doubt that like Rollins and other people in WWE are legitimately kind of like hesitant about having Punk around. You just need to look at Punk's last like 10 years. But I also think that like the idea that all the stuff that he's saying about Punk, like, come on, it's a work. Of course it's a fucking work. Like, come on, guys, everybody relax. Like, now,
but this does go back. This does go back to when CM Punk was signed to AEW. I think it was around SummerSlam time, maybe. I could be wrong. Seth Rollins was interviewed by someone, and it was like a social media thing when asked about CM Punk, and Seth Rollins had choice words to say as well. So, like, you know, there does seem to be heat there. But listen, there was heat when Matt Hardy and Edge feuded with each other in WWE, when there was a real life affair going on with Lita. But money was made from that.
Yes.
You know, like countless times we've seen people that don't like, hey, recent events, Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes have said publicly that they do not like each other, but yet they had some damn good matches and made money together.
Yeah.
The same could be said that's true here. Seth Rollins. Listen, I've heard some things about him that, like, he does rub people the wrong way. Hey, guess what? CM Punk, very similar. It's
What?
very
Punk
possible
rubs
that
people the wrong way? What?
yeah, I know, wild.
What are you
But
talking?
like, what to say about two people are similar,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So it is very possible that they really do not like each other. But yet, it's also still possible. Both things can be true. This could also still be a work.
Oh, 100%. It's a work. Seth Rollins, when he sees CM Punk, he doesn't see a guy that he hates. You know what he sees? Dollar signs, bro. He sees merchandise. He sees a main event of WrestleMania that they're probably going to get, right? Like, like I was totally unexcited about a Seth Rollins and CM Punk match until all this shit started happening, and I was just like, all right, fine, let's do this. Let's see where this goes. Hopefully this plays out in a great storyline in front of the camera and not some ridiculous, like, dramatic bullshit behind the camera. Um, but also, like, this company it's a different company. So, like, hopefully it plays out differently. And yeah, like, it just the whole point of this, like I keep saying, is so that we have this conversation. How
Right.
many of these conversations are happening across the wrestling fandom?
I'm sure plenty. Now, the question is, does this happen at WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia, or does it happen at the Royal Rumble, somewhere in between? Because there's also talks about CM Punk possibly facing Stone Cold. That's on the table. That's got to be a WrestleMania match.
Oh man, I mean, Kevin, circa 2011, 12, 13, that was my dream match, dude. Like, I still, like, imagine how that would play out in my head and stuff like that. My friend Jason and I, we used to talk about that, like, constantly. And it's if they were to do that, they could obviously pull it off now, and that would be it'd be like the last, like, true dream match when you think about it, right?
Yeah,
They'll
the
be
last possible dream match. Yeah,
yeah, at the very least, like, the last possible of folks from Stone Cold's era. Um, you know, yeah, that would be incredible. And I don't know. I think it just depends on where they want to go for Mania. Um, Austin obviously proved that he can come back and have a match a couple years ago. And it just if I guess the question is what match would make more money? Seth Rollins versus Punk or Stone Cold versus Punk?
right. And, like, hey, listen, you have two huge PLEs coming up between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. You could obviously take advantage of both, have one be at one, have one be at the other, and you can make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Moving on, though, like, we could talk all day about CM Punk. We'd have a whole podcast dedicated to CM Punk, but we do not. It is a shot of wrestling. We cover all forms of wrestling here, including AEW, which we're about to get into now. Speaking of rivalries, huge rivalry going over there. It's very entertaining. We have Edge and Christian. Oh, I'm sorry, Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. WrestleOps at WrestleOps. Adam Copeland versus Christian Cage for the TNT Championship is officially set for AEW Dynamite at the Bell Center in Montreal, Quebec next week. Their first match since 2010. That promo, man, between them both, amazing. The storytelling has been absolute gold since Adam Copeland made his debut in AEW. But I got to ask you, Kevin, who gets more credit for this? Is it Adam or is it Christian?
It's Christian. Christian's been the one that's been killing it. When did he turn on Jungle Boy? What was it, like a year ago? Over a year ago? He's the one that's been coming out and just cutting just the most insane, absurd promos. I will play, like, some of his highlights to friends of mine who are non-wrestling fans, and they're like, "What did he just say?" He's doing the best character work of his career by far, which is kind of saying a lot. You know, Adam Copeland is fine, but it's a little awkward on his part for me, just because it feels like he's still Edge, but we can't call him Edge. It feels like he hasn't evolved past being like the exact same guy he was when he was in WWE. He's like the exact same character and everything.
Well, what did you expect though? I mean, you can't use the name, but like he's still the same. Like he's a rated R superstar.
I mean, yeah. Although it's still a little weird to me that they're doing the "you think you know me" thing when he comes out. Like you could change the song like a little bit, you know. I don't know. That's me kind of nitpicking though.
Really, you change the song? Like I would just
I wouldn't
keep rolling
change
with
the
what
song.
works.
Here's the thing: I would not change the song. I would change the opening of his song because the "you think you know me" that's not the WWE drop is just it's weird to me. It's just weird. Just cut to his song right away, or find some other sort of like an intro or something.
I feel like you're in a minority there for that.
Possibly, and I might be nitpicking here. Look, the point of the actual question is who deserves more credit? To me,
for the rivalry, for making this rivalry so successful. Yeah.
Yes, and to me, the weight of the rivalry rests on the character work that Christian Cage has been doing, and I feel like if Christian were not, if Adam Copeland came back and they were feuding with the Hardys again, we would be looking at this and we'd be like, what are they doing? Like, what? Because it wouldn't be the same, And if Christian did not have the run that he's on right now, I think people would be like, why are they running this WWE feud on AEW? But they're not. And it feels like we're getting to see what WWE wouldn't let us see, which in some ways is kind of what AEW is there for.
Right. I mean, hell, they dropped the F-bomb a couple times throughout this series here, uncensored on Adam Copeland's part.
Yep.
Which is wild, actually.
I saw that and was like, oh my God.
Oh, wow. He said fuck.
Yeah. Fuck.
But yeah, I mean, like, interesting point. Like, Christian's 50 years old, man. Like, and he's doing the best work of his career right now. I have to agree with what you're saying. I mean, Adam Copeland, it's not like without Adam Copeland, this doesn't work, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, big name. Like, obviously, the story is there between the two. I'm glad they're actually putting it together right there, because it would just been the elephant in the room if Adam decided to feud with someone else when he first started off, right?
Yes.
And it just makes sense. I feel like, though, like, Adam's kind of got the easiest part of the job here in this rivalry, because he's got the wow factor. He's a new guy. He's a shiny new toy. He's been incredibly over through most of his career, and Christian, yes, I hate to say, he's kind of been living in the shadow of Adam. Successful in his own right, but not as successful.
Yes, so exactly.
There's all this work. So Christian is doing a lot of the heavy lifting here, and he's doing so with making it look like easy work when it's not.
Yes. Christian was always Scottie Pippen to Copeland / Edge's Michael Jordan. That's what it was. He was not Marty Jannetty. He was Scottie Pippen. And now we're at a point in their careers where I feel like Copeland's kind of trying to figure out maybe what he's going to evolve into. And Christian is fully who he needs to be and who he is and who he's maybe probably would have always wanted to be in his career. I don't think that AEW is in the business of just like putting WWE stars on their TV just to get the WWE nostalgia pop. And that's
they kind of do, though. They kind of do that.
Yes,
but in this case, so it's
but not this is the best extent.
This is the best story they have going, easily.
100%. And to me, Christian Cage is doing the best character work, not just of his career, but of anybody in the company.
Ooh, it's hard to debate that. Well, I would probably say Tony Storm is definitely up there for sure. But hey, great point. Real fast before we move on to the next subject, who wins? Call it right now, Copeland or Christian?
Christian, because I think they're going to extend the feud. I don't know. Actually, probably Copeland. Actually, now that I think about it, I also didn't realize it's at the Bell Center, the home of the Montreal Screwjob. Great,
exactly. That could be a story there. I gotta go with Christian this one. I think based on what you said, there's gonna be a screw job going on, of some sorts. Either maybe Dick Wayne come back, kill switch, or maybe someone new. They put the screw job on Adam, and this will extend the storyline. That's what I think. We shall see. Moving on now into, hey, I don't think we've actually really fully covered this subject here in Shot of Wrestling, not the recent memory. I'm honored to do it with you, my friend. Let's go into Ring of Honor.
Oh, interesting.
Big storyline there. Athena, Billie Starkz been crushing as a team. Well, they were a team until this past Thursday. Drainmaker, excuse me, at Drain. Oh, I've used this name before. Drain Bamager. Butcher every time. This is 100% the best American women's wrestling story of the year. The fact that it's been precisely crafted for many, many months. Billie Starkz finally standing up to Athena and main eventing Final Battle is the perfect payoff for this feud and a passing the torch moment. Couldn't agree more here. Billie Starkz, 18-year-old phenomenon, been under the wing of Athena for quite some time here as an ROH Women's Champion. Now they're going to be butting heads at this next ROH pay-per-view here, or PLE, whatever you want to call it. Question is, will Billie Starkz be the one to dethrone Athena for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship?
I hope so, because to me, Athena should be on AEW. Like, she's doing the best character work of her career and also doing some of the best character work of anyone in any of the companies right now.
Legitimate badass.
I mean, we were there. We were at the Ring of Honor show in July with Samira. Shout out to Samira.
Against Willow Nightingale. And we all thought Willow was going to win.
Yeah. Yeah. And everyone, I would say that like the energy in that building for that match was intense.
Everyone's on their feet. Everyone was on their feet.
Exactly. It's one of the better live matches that I've ever gotten to see. It was so much fun. And I at the time I remember thinking,
working us up with tickets, by the way.
Yes, thank you. Shout out to Prince Nana. And I think that at the time I thought Willow was going to win because, again, I was like, Athena's doing this amazing work on, no offense to Ring of Honor, but I feel like Ring of Honor is should be treated as like the junior varsity team.
It's their NXT.
Exactly. And she's been doing great work. She's also done work with is Christina Marie a friend of the show?
Christina Marie,
friend of ours, yes. Christina Marie and
show.
many other indie stars at the moment. And Athena's been killing it, but I also am sort of like, okay, that's great that she's doing it there. Now, can we take this and put it on, like I said, the varsity team? And I feel like if not now, then when?
Well, but then again, I feel like we said the same with Willow Nightingale. Though we all thought that she was going to be the one to win it because we felt Athena's ready for that next level for quite some time. And maybe I mean, for all we know, this could be Athena soon. Maybe she wants to be in Ring of Honor. Maybe she wants to be the face over there. She recently called out Eddie Kingston too in that same promo that night. She said very well. I mean, this is her company. She takes great pride in Ring of Honor. So we're assuming that she wants to go to AEW, do her thing, but she could very well be very happy being the woman in the face of Ring of Honor.
I guess now that I think about it, they did bring in Ronda Rousey recently, and it seemed like they teased them doing something more down the road. So there's a chance that that's what's coming next.
Maybe Ronda Rousey did recently say in TMZ that she is not under AEW contract. She's focused on being a mom. We shall see what happens with her. I mean, it's TMZ.
Yeah.
So, but I think Billie Starkz.
What are you talking about?
What's that?
Oh, people work in TMZ? What are you talking about?
All right. Well, anywho, Billie Starkz, though, phenomenal wrestler. I am so happy for her to get this opportunity at AEW Ring of Honor, showcasing what she can do. Kill it in the indies all throughout. Young kid, up and comer, she's got it. Like whatever it is, she's got it. And already at the young age of 18, so sky is the limit for her for sure. What an opportunity for her to get to possibly beat Athena. Because if it's not her, then who? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't know. I mean, like Ring of Honor brings in plenty of people from the Indies, so it might be someone else. Maybe it's someone else coming down from AEW. Who knows? But like, I just don't know where Billie Starkz would go from there. You know what I mean? Like Will Nightingale had plenty of opportunities to do whatever afterwards, after the loss with Athena. So it didn't necessarily hurt her. But like Billie Starkz, it's like, well, she was so intertwined with Athena. What happens to her next? You know, she's too good of a talent for her to just drop down after that.
Yes. And also, if you're going to have a strong reign like you're giving Athena, isn't the point of it to build somebody up? And if it's not this person that you've been telling the story with for however long, like then who's it going to be? Like, it just feels like, if not this match, eventually she's going to be the one to dethrone her. I just am curious of, like, is it going to be this next match? Is it going to be a match in the future? Like,
right. And if Athena loses to Billie Starkz, like, it doesn't hurt Athena at all. I don't think. I think
not at all.
If anything, it just, Billie Starkz knows Athena better than anyone else because she's been under her wing for so long. So they play that up. Athena could still be an absolute badass, and then, you know, compete for the TBS title or for the AEW Women's Championship or whatever. You know, I think there's a lot of different ways to go here. Where I think a loss hurts Billie more than it hurts Athena.
Yes, I 100% agree. I guess the one wrinkle that I wonder is if you're them, do you want to extend this feud, or is it like, all right, now the iron's hot, like, strike here?
Very well said. I mean, yeah, you know what? Though, if there's money to be made, they'll do it. Moving on though to SmackDown. Hey, there's a big acquisition happened here tonight on Friday Night SmackDown. You see this one?
Of course, I watched it before we hopped on.
WrestleOps, Randy Orton has chosen to sign with SmackDown after much debate between Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis. Oh, who would land the Viper? And Randy Orton says, you can call Roman Reigns and you can tell him Daddy's back. Hell of a line by Orton. But the question is for you, Kev, is SmackDown the right move for Randy Orton?
I would say yes. He's clearly going to be feuding with Roman Reigns.
Right. No, of course.
Going to be
that was a selling point.
It's going to clearly be his opponent at the Royal Rumble. Right. Also, here's an interesting wrinkle here. We're about to see Randy Orton booked by somebody other than Vince McMahon for the first time in his career. Because
it's Triple H, though. Triple H knows him so well.
Oh, of course. Yeah. I'm just saying,
I don't think that makes a difference.
It's an interesting thing to me that it's going to just be in somebody else's hands, technically. And I think that after that, I'm curious what Orton does at WrestleMania.
Right. Okay. So I'm glad you said that. And this is why I posed the question. Because we all know Randy Orton's losing at Royal Rumble to Roman Reigns. Excuse me.
Yes.
Like, we all know this. It sucks because I kind of wish he didn't sign with SmackDown. You know, because, like, yes, we all know the selling point was for him to get revenge in the bloodline. It was his first thing. We coming back to, he's out for the bloodline. He's out for the bloodline. What's to get after the bloodline? Every single one of them. He's coming in with receipts for every single one of them, right? With the form of RKO.
Yeah.
But you're going to lose, bro. You're going to lose. It's going to be one and done at the Royal Rumble. So how many weeks do we have to the Royal Rumble? How many weeks do we have for this build up?
Like 7 or 8 at least.
7, 8. All right. So we have a nice little build. Only for an inevitable, 1, 2, 3 after a spear and Roman Reigns music hits and blah blah blah. The whole thing happens. We go off, and then what? What happens next for Randy Orton?
Well, here's the
WrestleMania.
Thing. Well, I think at Mania maybe it winds up being him and Solo. It feels like that would be like the natural pairing, unless they want to do Solo and Brock. Although that one, I don't know if Brock is the guy that Solo should be facing. But to me, also, I think part of the calculation in this is that Randy's going to be Cody's first opponent after Cody wins at Mania.
Assuming Cody wins it, yeah.
Yes. Which I think is, I mean, who knows? We'll see. But I feel like that's a fairly safe assumption. And I think that, I think Randy is the clear natural best opponent for Cody coming out of Mania. Especially depending on what happens at Mania, if they give him like a strong win. I don't know if that's against Solo. I don't know if that's against like an LA Knight.
But then that doesn't make sense though, because then like you got to think like Randy Orton's going to turn heel before that. I don't know, because like, you know, if he's facing Solo at WrestleMania, you know, he's still after a bloodline, then what makes him switch and turn heel against Cody? You know what I mean? Like, obviously,
he wants to win the championship.
He still has. I don't know, man. Like, it just, I kind of wish.
Also, that is a strong first opponent for Cody right after winning the title.
No, of course. Like, hey, listen,
storyline too.
That story writes itself. Like, it'll be a great match, great storyline, etc., etc. However, like, you know, this whole thing with Randy Orton and the Bloodline, I wish we extended a little bit more here, because, like, you know, it's a good redemption story. You know, Randy Orton just came back after what, 18, 19 months being on the shelf at the hands of the Bloodline, and like, you know, we want to see Randy Orton take everyone's ass. We want to see him, you know, climb his way to the top, but we know what's going to happen already now. You know, it sucks it's happening at this next event, the Royal Rumble, when it's so close to WrestleMania. We know whoever Roman's going to face at the Royal Rumble, he's going to win, and it sucks that it's going to be Orton.
I mean, that is true, but I feel like if you go through the years, that championship match at the Royal Rumble is like the world champion usually, the defending champion usually defends the title at that show. Usually it's kind of a foregone conclusion. Very often that match they will use as sort of like an experiment. Like they'll give somebody a title match that you wouldn't otherwise see. A couple of years ago, they had Seth and Roman when they were both heels. So I think that they know sometimes that that's a little bit of a lame duck match. I just am curious of what it's going to be like.
We've seen new champions be crowned at Royal Rumble, though. That has happened.
It's happened, but more often than not, it's the defending champion walks out.
But right now, they're so pigeonholed with Roman Reigns because it's just like the streak.
I mean, you know, Jesus Christ, they're always pigeonholed by Roman. I had a friend the other day who was like, I think that he's going to win at Mania. And I was like, if he wins at Mania, I will scream, especially because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be there live. If Roman wins at Mania, I'm going to scream. But it's almost like that's the point. It's like the anti-Undertaker streak, where the idea of him losing is just like, oh my God, is he not going to kick out on this one? You know, it's I just think that Orton is going to have that match at the Rumble. It's going to be very predictable. It's going to be a foregone conclusion.
And that sucks.
Yeah. And then he's going to have a nice little feud with Cody after Mania.
All right, we shall see, man. Like, I don't know. I feel bad about Roman. I'm saying not Roman, but Randy going into this. It's just like, the storyline's a great storyline, but like, how amped can I be for it when I know it's a foregone conclusion that he's going to lose? You know what I mean? That's such a point I'm trying to make. And, you know, hell, if Roman wins again at WrestleMania at this point, then he's just got to go for Bruno's record. My opinion. All right, let's wrap things up here with our final thoughts. Kevin, you're the guest.
I think it's just, we need to appreciate what an exciting time it is in wrestling, because it hasn't always been like this. We have one company that is doing amazing things in WWE and stuff that we would have begged for as fans for years and years and years. And drop it. You can edit that out. That's fine. And we have another company that we've watched blossom from nothing into being the legitimate, viable number 2 company in the country and the world. And they're on cable television, and this is just an exciting time. There's so much wrestling out there. Go see an indie show, folks. Go watch an indie show. If you see a bald man with a large beard, that's probably me. So come say hi.
He does great film work too, by the way. I you know, to echo what you're saying, yes, you know, a lot of these talents that we talk about, right? You know, for the MJFs, for the Marina Shafirs, for the Austin Theories, Willow Nightingale, you know, and I use these names specifically because those wrestlers have once wrestled in a BCW ring. Recombination Wrestling is in Ridgefield Park, New Jersey. Next show is coming up January 20th, 2024, called Welcome to the New Year. My champion, the BCW Women's Champion, Vicious Vicky, will be in action. Of course, I will be there. You never know when you go to these indie shows. The stars of tomorrow could be wrestling right in front of your eyes in a local intimate setting, such as indie wrestling. The beauty of it, I love it, man. It's a good vibe, and it's always cool to see people like you share the locker room with. You got to know, and you see them crushing it on the main stage.
Yes, and one last thing about that show. Also, shout out to the main event of that show, which will be friends all around of the show and friends of ours. Anthony Gangone and Mr. Darius Carter against Jay Bougie and Face.
Monster match.
Oh man, what a way to start out the new year,
right? God damn! If you don't know what we're talking about, I suggest you go to Recombination Wrestling's YouTube page. They fill you in here as far as how it all went down, what's going on there. Basically, it is a storyline that's been taking place for almost a year, and it's all coming to a head. Yeah,
over a year.
It's very good storytelling, and it's all coming to a head. January 20th, 2024. Welcome to the new year, BCW at Ridgefield Park, New Jersey, the Mecca, if you will. But yeah, dude, totally pumped about that. Pumped about 2024 in general, man. Like Kevin, like this is my last time I'm probably going to see you before the holidays. Do you have any plans?
I will be back in San Francisco in a couple of weeks. I will be with family, and might also be working on an interesting project there. But I can't say more than that, so stay tuned.
Ooh, okay. Wrestling related or non?
Actually, it's two projects. One wrestling related, one non-wrestling related.
Okay, we're gonna have to talk off the air.
Yes.
No, that's exciting, man. Good for you. Speaking of San Francisco, you gotta be pumped. 49ers killing it.
Yeah. The Eagles-Niners game will have happened by the time this comes out, I think.
Yes.
So hopefully they beat them by 40, but my prediction is the Niners do well for 3 to 3.5 quarters, and then the Eagles make it a game, and we'll see.
You're sour in the Niners this year.
I have a lot of respect for this Eagles team. That's what it really is. I don't have a lot of respect for some of these other teams. When we beat the Cowboys, I was very like, Shanahan plays very well against their coaches historically, but this Eagles team is very good. It's
but they're not. They're not the same Eagles as last year. They are beatable. Like Jalen Hurts does tend to turn it on in the fourth quarter, as you kind of put it before. You feel like 49ers going to play well for first 3 quarters, fourth quarter. You think it's going to be Jalen Hurts show all over again? I don't necessarily see it that way. I think 49ers, they're a more complete team. I think when healthy, they are the best team in NFL, and right now they are fully healthy.
Yeah, well, hopefully they stay healthy. We'll see. Hopefully, ideally,
it's a long season.
Yes, it very much is, and ideally, hopefully, everybody comes out of the game fine and healthy on both sides, preferably on the Niners side. But hopefully, everybody's okay. Hopefully, the Niners win. And yeah, we'll see. I'll either be watching this next week and be like, "Damn right, they won," or be sighing. So we'll see.
Either way, I feel like the 49ers are going to be going to playoffs. I'm sure these teams will play each other again in the playoffs somehow, some way. Yep. And that'll be the one that really counts. But Kevin, dude, love you, my man. Thank you so much for coming on, and being a fill-in here for Michael J. Putty. Putty, if you're listening, I hope you enjoyed your wedding, whatever you were doing. I don't know what you were doing, dude. I really don't care. This is my time now. It's my show. Speaking of which, you can check me out, yourfavoriteactor.com. All my social media links are on there. You can also see old interviews, A Shot of Wrestling. You can see old episodes as well. Follow along the journey. Like, subscribe. Follow us on all forms of social media at Shot of Wrestling. In the meantime, this is Mark Schwann saying peace out, everyone.
Later, guys.
Hey, baby, I hear the bell ringing, hip tosses and body slams. Oh, my. And maybe you seem a bit confused. Yeah, baby, but I got you pinned. Ha, 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 ha. But I don't know what to do when I see them with that golden case. They're cashing it in. Authority all in my face. What is a man to do? Good night, everybody.